The Armed Forces of the Philippines is quietly undergoing one of its most important structural changes in decades. In Southern Tagalog, the Philippine Army has begun phasing out the Citizens Armed Force Geographical Unit, or CAFGU Active Auxiliary, and replacing it with something very different, a National Guard-style force. At the same time, AFP reservists are becoming more visible in major exercises, while active Army units increasingly pivot toward external defense. And on the maritime front, the Philippine Coast Guard is now engaging Taiwan's Coast Guard, opening the door to intelligence sharing and capacity building amid rising tensions in the West Philippine Sea and Luzon Strait. So what does all of this mean? Is the Philippines moving toward a total force model, similar to the United States? And how does this reshape the country's territorial defense, disaster response, and maritime security? Let's break it down. For decades, the CAFGU Active Auxiliary played a critical role in counterinsurgency operations, especially in rural and conflict-affected areas. They provided local terrain knowledge, community-based security, and support to regular Army units. But here's the key issue. CAFGU was designed for internal security, not for today's strategic environment. In regions like Southern Tagalog, where insurgent and terrorist threats have significantly declined, maintaining CAFGU units no longer aligns with the Army's evolving mission. Instead of disbanding these forces outright, the Philippine Army is doing something smarter. They are transitioning CAFGU units under the 2nd Infantry Division into a National Guard-style structure. This is not a downgrade, it's a redefinition of their role. Under the total force concept, the AFP aims to integrate active, reserve, and auxiliary forces into a single, unified operational framework. In this setup, the emerging National Guard units will be civilian in daily life, part-time military members, regionally based, and rapidly mobilizable. This allows active Army units to shift their focus toward external defense, joint and combined operations, and high-intensity conflict preparedness. In short, the National Guard handles homeland and community defense, while the regular Army prepares for regional and external threats. Now let's shift to the maritime domain. This week in Manila, the Philippine Coast Guard and Taiwan's Coast Guard Administration held talks focused on intelligence sharing, capacity building, and maritime security cooperation. Taiwan's Coast Guard Attaché, Commander Andrew Yen, visited the PCG's Maritime Security Law Enforcement Command, or MARSLEC. Why does this matter? Because both the Philippines and Taiwan face similar coercive tactics, particularly from the China Coast Guard. Taiwan operates in the South China Sea, the Luzon Strait, areas like Kinmen, which face constant Chinese pressure. Taiwan's Coast Guard operates dual-use vessels, such as the Anping-class offshore patrol vessels, which are capable of law enforcement, maritime defense, and anti-ship operations in wartime. This experience is highly relevant to the PCG, which is rapidly expanding but still stretched thin. PCG is expected to receive nearly 50 new patrol vessels from France, Japan, and Australia. But ships alone are not enough. What the PCG also needs is maritime domain awareness, timely intelligence, and operational coordination. Cooperation with Taiwan offers better tracking of Chinese vessels, shared awareness of regional maritime movements, and stronger non-military security partnerships. And importantly, this cooperation stays within the framework of Coast Guard to Coast Guard engagement, reducing escalation risks while improving readiness. Taken together, these developments point to a major transformation in Philippine defense strategy. On land, CAFGU units are transitioning into a National Guard model, Reservists are being integrated more deeply, and active Army units are preparing for external defense. At sea, the PCG is expanding its fleet and now building new security partnerships, including with Taiwan. This is what a total force approach looks like in practice: flexible, layered, and aligned with today's strategic realities. The question now is not if this transformation will continue, but how fast can the Philippines adapt to the challenges ahead? If you found this analysis useful, like, subscribe, and share. And let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.